Hello there and welcome to African Student Voices on AAU TV. AAU TV is the voice of higher education in Africa. And don't forget, we are coming to you live from the headquarters of the Association of African Universities here in Accra, Ghana. And my name is Jemima Deladem Duchi, and I'll be your host. Today we will be discussing the impact of social media on students' academic performance in the classroom, and I have here with me lovely guests. But before I introduce them, we'll go for a quick break. Stay tuned. Welcome back from the break, and if you just joined us, this is African Student Voices on AAU TV, and today we will be discussing the impact of social media on students' academic performance in the classroom. And I have here with me lovely guests. Don't forget to also follow this conversation on our social media handles: Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube, AAU TV _ African Universities on Twitter, and AAU TV Official on Instagram. You're welcome to my show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll give you a minute to introduce yourself. As I say, ladies first, so I'll start from you.
Thank you very much. My name is Abigail Nyani from the University of Ghana.
You're welcome.
Thank
very
you.
much. I am Kwame Omokutu-Fianko, SRC President of the University of Ghana.
You are both welcome.
Thank you.
So today we are discussing the impact of social media on the academic performance of students in the classroom. But first of all, let me pretend I don't know anything about social media, and let's know what social media is. What makes up the social media? Should I start from the lady? Okay, Abigail.
Okay, sure. Okay, so first of all, social media comprises a lot of apps.
Okay.
So people only think social media, when you say social media, they're only talking about WhatsApp, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, but that's not only social media. There are other platforms too that comprises of social media, like let me say LinkedIn, there's Clubhouse, because they all help in communicating with other people from other countries like across the whole country. So that's what I would say social media is.
Okay, so when it comes to social media, I think it's more of a generic scope. It's something that shouldn't be limited to few social media platforms, applications.
Yes.
What I know, what I understand about social media is it has to do with a collection of maybe websites and applications that allow people to share content. Okay. We have Twitter, we have Facebook, and even some popular websites that are not necessarily applications that are used to engage people. It also affords people the chance to network, and it has varied benefits. Some of its benefits could be positive, others could be negative. Yes, I think this is what I know about social media.
Right now we are in the age of social media, and it has become the norm of the day, and everyone is on social media, and I believe both of you are also on social media. But I want to find out, how long have you been on social media? How long, since you started using your phone, your smartphone, how long do you think you've been on social media?
Well, I would say I've been on social media for quite a long time.
Okay.
I remember I was in primary 6.
Wow.
Okay, I was in primary 5 when I started using a phone, but that wasn't a smartphone then. Yes. Okay. So in primary 6, I had my first smartphone.
Yeah.
So I started with Facebook.
Okay. Yes.
And then I joined WhatsApp because that was one of the easiest ways of reaching out to people. Then it was like a new app that had come up. So I've been on social media for a long time. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I agree with her, because I know social media and phones to some extent. I mean, to some extent, they are not necessarily coterminous. I remember I had my first phone in 2007. My grandmom gave it to me. That was a Siemens, that old type of Siemens. And I think along the line, because of changes in the trend of technology, we got to acquaint ourselves with these new applications, that is WhatsApp, Facebook, and all. But the first social media platform that I use, which is a mainstream platform, is Facebook. And that was around 2010. I think I was in class 6 or JHS1, and it was something that was becoming normal amongst all of us. Prior to the introduction of Facebook, we used to write pen pal letters to our friends. So Facebook became more of a replacement of what was already in existence, and we were just replicating what we were doing with the paper system. And that is what made me start using Facebook as a social media platform.
Okay, so currently among all the apps that you are using, Nanake, which one is your favorite? Which one are you mostly on?
I think it's WhatsApp and Twitter, but WhatsApp more because WhatsApp allows me to engage people that I'm close to on a daily basis, and Twitter keeps you updated with the trends, what is happening in Ghana and in the outside world as well. Yeah.
Abigail, which one is your favorite?
Well, I would say Snapchat. Okay. Though I use WhatsApp as well, but I enjoy Snapchat more because I'm not limited. I'm able to stream other people from other side of the world. Yes, videos of people, what they do on their daily basis. And I'm also able to chat with my friends on Snapchat as well. Okay,
so are you saying WhatsApp you don't?
No, I like WhatsApp. I use WhatsApp, and I use that because it's easy to reach out to people.
That's true.
Yes, and most of the time, groups and informations. Yes, exactly. Everybody uses WhatsApp.
Okay, so let's go through this like a survey question. First of all, have you let me say, how have you been using social media? Let's say within 24 hours in a day, how long do you spend on social media?
It depends.
Okay.
It depends.
On a normal day?
On a normal day. Yes. I think the reason why I said it depends is currently I am not actively involved in academic work. It's more of SRC, trying to work on your service and all those stuff. And it depends, but then on a daily basis, let's say I spend close to 6 hours, sometimes 8. There are times that I've even spent about 12 hours on social media.
That's like half of your day.
Exactly, that is an abuse. But I would give reasons why I find myself in that situation. You know, our university, that is University of Ghana, rolled out a system, which is the modular system. And this is the first time we've actually rolled out such a system on a large scale. Earlier on, it was relegated to those in the distance education section. But because of COVID-19, the schools planned to curb the accommodation situation we have on our campus. It was necessary for them to roll out such a system. The reason why I'm usually on WhatsApp, Twitter as one, to keep myself updated with what is happening. You see, if someone spends 12 hours on social media, it is not wrong. It depends on what it's being used for.
Doing,
because there are people who are using social media to make money. There are people, there are Bitcoins, those who work in crypto. And these are people that need to be online 24/7. There are people who also sell. My mom owns a shop, a boutique, and my sister is usually on WhatsApp trying to advertise a product and all. So it all depends on the context. It depends on what you are using it for. And the reason why I chipped in the University of Ghana's modular system is because for so many reasons, let me speak for myself. As an SRC president who gets in touch with so many people, both state and non-state actors, at a point you get stressed up or stressed out. So you just don't feel the need to be in your office all the time. So what I've actually decided to do right now is to hold my meetings via Zoom. Sometimes have video calls with people because I think there's a changing trend. It is not all the time that you need to meet them in person. So it depends on what you are using it for.
So Abigail, how long do you spend on social media within 24 hours?
Well, I don't really pay attention to the time I spend on social media, but I must say I spend a lot of time on social media.
Averagely?
Sometimes I can spend close to 7 to 8 hours on social media. That's because because of where I live, I barely have friends. And I don't go out. It's a very quiet environment. So if I'm done with what I have to do and then I'm less busy, I don't feel like watching television. Obviously, it's my phone I'm going to be on because I have everything on my phone. I get to reach out to everybody. Though even if I'm not stepping out, I can reach out to all my friends.
That's fine.
Yes. So
okay. You know, there are many reasons why an individual would opt for using social media, and one main thing is entertainment. People use social media to entertain. As you said, sometimes you call your friends, you video call and all that's not necessarily meeting them. What pushed you, let me say, what necessitates your use of social media?
So I think,
apart from entertainment.
Okay.
Yes.
One, it's
as a student. Yes.
Social media to some extent is convenient.
Okay.
And two, it saves cost.
Yeah.
I think in my earlier submission I gave a scenario. Aside entertainment, of course. So let's see. Let me give one example. Let's say we were to have this assuming we wanted to have this particular meeting or this interview on this very day.
Yes.
And I said to you, or I told you that, okay, for some reasons I won't be able to show up in person. There are so many social media platforms that we can still use.
Well,
I have had interviews with some major TV stations in this country, and I told them I can't avail myself in person, but then we can have it via Zoom. So we've had like so many live interview sessions via WhatsApp, but the most common platform is Zoom.
Zoom, yes, that's true.
So it saves cost and it's also convenient. So assuming with these TV stations, I decided to go to, let's say, Kanda to TV3 to grant an interview. That would probably, consume about 50 cedis of my money.
Well,
but if I decide to use,
you can use 20 for that
20 for airtime and just save it for some food or something. That's why.
Okay, Abigail, let me come to you. Why do you use social media? Apart from entertainment. As a student, yes.
Well, I use social media for group discussions.
Okay.
Yes. Basically, like that's my primary
discussions.
For group discussions, because especially when there was COVID, when COVID hits, when we were home, you were not allowed to go out, you cannot step out or go anywhere.
That's true.
And then you need assistance because education, like we were still running the semester at home. So if you want to study, you don't understand something, you need help from a friend, you can't step out. Obviously social media you are going to use. So through WhatsApp we had groups that we share ideas. If we have to go to the extent of having video calls to see each other, to be able to understand, because some students are not only audio learners, some are audio visuals, some are visual learners. So if they see the person in teaching, sometimes they don't even have to go back to their books. Once they see the person teach, they remember, they are okay. Yes, so I use social media for learning as well, because it helps. It helps.
So that brings me right to my next question to you, Abigail. How do you think social media has influenced our online learning?
Well, it has helped. Social media it kind of takes the student's mind off education sometimes, but it has helped, because I'll say it again. If during the COVID, I can't go out.
Exactly.
It's lockdown. You can't step out. It's social media you're going to use. Yes. If you do some research, you don't understand something, I pick my phone. I call my friend, I WhatsApp my friend, oh, hello, can you help me with this? Can you do this? You get it. So it has helped. It has helped, like, with our education and all.
And okay, how has social media influenced your learning?
Okay, it has. Let me use University of Ghana as a case study, because that is the institution I represent.
That's true.
So currently we've rolled out a modular system, and I am yet to ascertain how long it would be in the system, but we recently pushed for its abrogation because our students were agitated.
True.
Because of the challenges that it comes with. Personally, I think it has influenced our academic system to a large extent, because what necessitated the rollout of the modular system was one, to help curb the influx of students, or students gathered in a particular lecture hall, University of Ghana may be a big institution, but we have a population of about 60,000 students.
Wow.
Yes, and looking at the facilities we have, we are to compare it to the number of students we have.
It's
Just doesn't tally. That is why we have students coming in batches.
Okay.
The use of social media has influenced our academic system or structure in the sense that let's see Microsoft Teams, which I think the university has an agreement with Microsoft Teams, so students from University of Ghana can easily access Microsoft Teams without even having to pay for it. Zoom is equally one of the platforms. Gone are the days where we used to meet our lectures in person to have lecture sessions and things like that, but now we have our lectures meeting us online. Gone are the days where our lecturers would barely allow us even record lecture sessions. I remember prior to COVID-19, some of our lecturers would tell us that if you know you have a phone in class, and the purpose for bringing your phone in class is to record him and stop whatever you're doing. And you have most of our students trying to remember and all, but it's for a reason. But now, because of the rollout to the modular system and the usage of social media, we have lecturers going for lectures with students. And they even allow students to record them. They themselves even record lecture sessions. There are times that they don't even come for lectures. But they just summarize everything in our slides and just forward it to Sakai, which is our learning platform right now. So it's influenced it to a very large extent.
So social media influences their academic performance to a large extent. We'll go for a quick break, and when we come back, we'll delve more into the discussion. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Welcome back from the break, and if you just joined us, this is African Student Voices on AAU TV, and don't forget, AAU TV is the voice of higher education in Africa. You can also join in the discussion on our social media handles: Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube, AAU TV _ African Universities on Twitter, and AAU TV official on Instagram. And before the break, we were talking about the influence social media has had on our online learning. So now I want to read a study here that was conducted in 2010 that says that social media grabs the attention of students and then diverts it towards a non-education and inappropriate action. I want us to discuss this. How is social media diverting your attention, let's say during class, during a serious thing that you are doing as a student? How is social media diverting your attention?
Okay, so
well,
let me
Nanaki.
Okay. So I think it does.
Yes.
It does to an extent.
Yes.
This is something that is not common amongst just Ghanaian students. I think it cuts across.
Yes.
It depends on the context or the institution you find yourself in. So let's say you are the basic level.
Yeah.
Most schools most Ghanaian schools, those are the basic level schools.
Yes.
Barely allow students to use their phones in class.
That's true.
But there are some few, these international schools that allow students to use iPads and phones. And personally, I think it affects your academic work, but not entirely.
Okay.
Earlier when I said social media is something that has a mixed blessing.
Yeah.
It has its positives and its negatives.
Of course.
So let me use my JHS for instance. So the school I attended before I attended my senior high school. My senior high school education. In our school, we were barely allowed to use phones or even tablets in class. And not even laptops. You could only have access to a laptop or a PC when you go to the computer lab for your ICT lessons. I think this is something that affected most of us. Because how can my teacher come to class, draw Microsoft Word using a chalk on a board,
and try to label the
part? You expect me to understand what you've actually done. One of the benefits of allowing students use social media or even their devices in classes, it allows practical teaching.
Yes,
and you know, people tend to grasp things better when they have a feel of it.
Yeah.
So when you go to the senior high school, most Ghanaian students who read science just had a feel of what was done in the laboratory.
Yes.
Those of us who read general arts only learned integrated science, but we never had a feel of that in the laboratory. So looking at it from both angles, I think it has its benefits and its negatives. We've had students who were also allowed to use phones, which has phones and even laptops which have social media platforms, and we're using them for the wrong reasons.
That's true.
Some students were, you know, they've been watching Netflix, watching YouTube videos, I mean movies, whilst there's a class going on. And I think it's something that should be looked at. But generally, what we should be focusing on is to promote the good usage of social media. If students would be allowed to use social media or phones or devices in class, we should promote its good usage. We should be able to reorient ourselves on how beneficial social media is. And, you know, not necessarily to say that watching movie or watching some of these things are bad, because all Jack a dull boy. Exactly. So we should wait from both angles. When you go to school, you are there to study, you are there to gain knowledge, and there is time for everything. As a student, you shouldn't be using your phone to watch movies while there's a class ongoing. You can maybe spend 2 hours of your time during your free time to watch whatever you want, but majority of your time should be spent on your books. So it all depends on how we would look at it.
But I want to ask you a question personally. So in a class where your lecturer is, well, he's teaching. But you know that not all lectures are actually lively, and you know you can concentrate for let me say 2 continuous hours, or let me say 3. So in cases like that, the individual has no option than to take your phone and you know try to, let's say if you are feeling sleepy during those times, you don't have a choice than to take your phone and you know try to look at certain things that would bring you back. In those situations, what would you advise?
I think it's a two-way affair. I have attended, and if my lecturers are watching, it's something that I wouldn't be shy to say. Some lectures are really boring.
That's true.
When you go for their lectures. And I must admit that it's a two-way affair, because before a class becomes lively, it depends on a relationship or the connection you have with your students. As a lecturer, I wouldn't expect you to come to class, be so strict, and you know, humans are social animals. I'm a political science student, so these are terms that are common amongst us. Humans are social animals. I don't expect a lecturer to come to class, you know, be so strict. I mean, you're dealing with people that are, some of us are, well, I'm a very young person, but we have people that are around 30 years, 35, 25 years in class, and you tend to, you know, apply your strict rules to them. It affects their mood. And before a student would have a better understanding of whatever you are teaching, you should be able to build that relationship with them. So if a student takes his phone because your class is boring, what I would advise you, the lecturer, is to make your class lively, interact with your students. We've had lecturers who came to class, and the first 10 minutes were used to crack jokes. So so it was able to, you know, arouse that kind of mood in our students.
Before the class actually started.
So during that 2 hours, 30-minute session, it was just fun. Nobody was actually sleeping. We had people who would just enter our lecture halls, and all that it starts to do is to, you know, question people on the type of dresses they are wearing.
It's true.
Why did they come to class?
It's just to distract the class a little.
So it all depends on the relationship you have with your students. I think if the relationship is very good and students are able to connect with you very well, I doubt they would, because who picks his phone when someone is cracking a joke?
Well,
I hope you understand. If, let's say in this room we are all cracking jokes and I'm laughing, what is going to be the essence of
using your phone?
I'll use my phone when maybe there isn't that connection over there. But if we are able to connect as students, as friends and all, I mean, the usage of our social media platforms
Yes.
would equally be limited. So,
That's true.
yeah.
Abigail, what will you do in a boring class?
That's the question.
I really want to know.
Yeah, personally, okay, let me use my class hours.
Okay.
So recently we had this class that nobody
Okay.
in my class ever wanted to miss that class.
Okay.
Because the straight 2 hours 30 minutes was all fun.
Wow.
Yes, from the beginning to the
the
end
end.
of the class, it was just fun. I don't know if you know any family and consumer science students.
Yes, I know.
Or
I know
you
the feeling.
had some of them their contact. You would see that every Thursday they used to post
Yeah.
interesting class
That's true.
hours. Nobody wanted to, and people used to come 30 minutes before
Even before.
time.
Wow.
Because the class was very interesting. And there are some class hours too that,
People
in
just
fact,
want to show.
personally, I wouldn't
Okay.
even have the zeal
to even attend.
no, I don't even feel like getting up from my bed to
Yeah.
go for that class because one, the lecturer straight face,
Yeah.
As
it's not
you said,
interactive.
yes.
So I mean, if the lecture is interactive and then your phone is by you on your table and the lecture is interactive, irrespective of the messages you get, you receive, I don't think you even feel like replying because when you're enjoying the class and then you are being interacted with,
That's true.
so you wouldn't even be distracted with your phone in the first place. But here's the case where the lecture is boring and then you are not even supposed to sleep in class. It's not allowed. It's a boring class. I cannot sleep.
You just
My
have to
phone is
take
the
your
next
phone.
thing I would go for
Okay.
because I wouldn't want to sleep. I would be on my phone.
And then
People
engaging
watch
with
people watch movies
Yeah.
in class.
Wow.
Others put earpiece, AirPods, headsets
Yeah.
in their ears, and you
Because
might think they are doing something very important, but trust me, it's either they are listening to music or they are watching movies on Netflix or watching YouTube videos because the class is boring.
Okay,
and
but
it's not
then
interactive.
I'm not cutting you short, but with this, do you encourage the use of mobile phones? Do you think it should be encouraged, the use of mobile phones in our classrooms?
Well, I think it's good if we use mobile phones in the class for educational purposes.
But you see, a youth today, let me come down to our level. A youth today, well, I know there are disciplined people, disciplined youth who go to class and don't touch their phones, don't, go on WhatsApp or anything of that sort. But when a student or when a youth is not disciplined and the youth is in the class, and I feel our environment nowadays is being run by social media.
Yes.
Each minute, each second, there is something trending that you want to see how it is. You want to actually be a part of it and know what the story is telling. So with such an environment that a youth finds or a student in the university finds themselves in it, what would you advise?
Well, it all boils down to the individual. Okay. So you can't force someone to be disciplined.
Yes.
Okay. So there are people, like you said, there are people who are actually very disciplined.
Yes.
Some people can be in a boring class and will never touch their phones.
Even when they are not getting anything.
Yes, they wouldn't, because that is how they have trained themselves with that. I'm not going to take my phone when I get to the class or when the lecturer is teaching. Yes. But others too are not that disciplined. The little ping ping, and then they go to their phone. The little alert they get, they take their phone. I used to be like that.
Okay.
I used to be like that in level 100. I wasn't really very interactive in class. Okay. And I realized that it was affecting my grades. But when I got to level 3, I think 200 second semester thereabouts, there was a change because I just saw that my grades were falling, and that is not me.
Yes.
You see, so I decided that okay, so from now onwards I'm going to be very disciplined. When I get to the class, I either put my data off or better off I just put it on airplane mode.
Yeah.
So I don't receive any message, whatever. Yes, whatsoever. I don't receive anything of that sort, so that I can concentrate. And I realized that there was a change in my grades, and it's helped me a lot. It really helped me. So it boils down to the individual. If the individual decides to change, or the individual decides to be disciplined, I think using mobile phones in the class
shouldn't be a problem.
It's not bad. It shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
Yes.
Nanake.
Well, I think it all boils down to reorientation.
Okay.
Because, as she was saying, discipline plays an integral role in this.
That's true.
As a university student, you know the purpose for which you were there.
You were there.
And one thing I have realized is that usually students who are very disciplined or pay attention in class are the best.
Yes.
It's an undeniable fact, whether we may choose to deny this or not.
But I'm not cutting you short.
I know where you're coming from. I know where you're coming from.
Yes, but sometimes the students can really listen to you, but trust me, nothing is...
Yes, it's true.
It's entering.
Yes.
But you see, those are exceptional cases. It's just a few.
Okay.
As far as my experience in the university is concerned, those that usually pay attention, are people that are the smart. I mean, these are people that I could tag as the smart ones. That does not necessarily mean that if someone is overly attentive, the person is extremely smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had instances where our lecturers even gave us some important points during their lecture sessions.
Okay.
Students who were having their attentions on or fixated on their mobile devices or their laptops or iPads struggle to get those particular points.
Yeah.
But those that had their phones on flight mode or those that had their phones in their rooms were able to get those particular points, even assist us.
Yes.
Assuming at that very moment, most of us, or 90 or 100%, or let me say every student had his or her eyes on their phones, what do you think would have been the case? So, I mean, these are things that we should take into consideration. Exactly. So I think it's something that shouldn't necessarily be encouraged. I know most university students wouldn't want to hear this.
Of course.
But that's a
I agree. No, because I have decided not to use my phone at all. So you can't tell me not to.
So right now, I think he's talking from the perspective of a student who is not disciplined. That they don't have, because of them, I think he thinks the use of phones should be looked at or checked twice. So I think that's where he's coming from.
It's for some lectures, my department, there are some lectures where you can bring your phone to the class, but they don't want to see your phone on your table. Okay, so you bring the phone to the classroom or the lecture hall, but just keep it in your bag because he doesn't want to see it.
That's true.
He doesn't want to see it, okay? And there are some lectures, they don't mind putting your phones on your table. Once they see your eyes are fixed on the phone, they fish you out. Once your lecturer sees that your eyes are fixed on your phone, and then they assume that you are using it. And there's nothing you are going to say that would change their mind. Other lectures, they seize phones. I remember one lecturer seized a friend of mine's phone for a week.
Wow.
Yes, because
for using it in the class.
Sometimes they tell you, my department, when we get to the lecture hall, before the lecturer starts teaching, he or she will say that, okay, so put your phones on flight mode or put your phones on silent because I do not want to hear like right now to iPhone, and that was very annoying in my class. Like the iPhone users, the lecturer has said that put your phone on silent, okay, and it's easy to put iPhone on silent, like once you press but you be there and you hear like
it's just so annoying.
It was so annoying. Like, and I was glad that some of the lecturers would seize the phone because I have told you to put your phone on silent. Why would you not put it on silent? So I don't accept the fact that phones will not be allowed in class.
Okay, I mean, she doesn't agree.
No, I don't agree. What if I have to do a research?
Of course, when you close, I think you can do that research.
No, some of my lectures, she will tell you to pick your phone. Okay.
So yes, there are lectures like that who actually allows it, not every time, but when they see or when the need arises that you have to check something. But then now let's come to our examination.
Yeah.
Sometimes before a student writes an exam, the question is already like outside.
Yeah.
Let me use BEC, WASSCE, and even in our universities. Sometimes before you officially write a paper, the paper is actually out. Do you think the phone or our social media and the use of our phones is playing a major role in leaking our questions? Nana K, I'll start from this one. I want you to start.
You should start.
Okay, I think it's something that is not relegated to just the tertiary level.
Yes, everywhere.
Because as you said, WASSCE, BEC, these things happen.
That's true.
And it is not as though it's social media itself that social media does not control itself. It's people who control it. And how these papers or these questions are able to leak, it all depends on the individuals who are involved in, you know, I wouldn't say setting up the questions, but the questions just don't leak by itself. It is someone who starts something. And I must admit, or we all need to admit the fact that people do these things because of monetary reasons.
Well, that's true.
We have, when you go to the senior high school level, for instance, nobody would want to complete senior high school and
come and write again.
And even rewrite again. There's this pride in attending a university, regardless. There's that pride in that. And for your friends to ask you these questions are asked to, I mean, we all copied, and you didn't copy, and we are all in university, and you are home. And I remember when I was writing my WASSCE in 2016, we had people who were asking themselves questions like, I mean, if I don't cheat, or if I don't know whether they did though, but these are questions they were asking themselves, that if I don't cheat, I won't be able to pass my WASSCE, because these are people that didn't take advantage of their stay in the senior high school. Most of them had their attentions on things that I think were sort of inconsequential.
That's true.
So when you have some kind of, let me say, self-introspection, as in you look at yourself or the experience you've had in the senior high school, if you were to assess yourself, do you think I'll be able to pass my WASSCE?
Well,
if the question is no, then I need to do whatever I can to pass. That is when some of them go the extent of paying some people to leak these exams questions. And WhatsApp and Facebook are the major platforms that are used to leak some of these questions. So I wouldn't blame social media, but I would probably blame those in charge of setting up our questions and individuals like that.
Okay, Abigail, we are almost wrapping up with the show. So I would ask, in a system where academic performance of your colleague is failing, what advice would you give to make use of the power of social media to boost their academic performance?
Okay. Let me say, if my colleague in school is not doing well,
of course,
and everything is on social media.
Yes.
Everything. I don't know what is not yet on social media. Yes. So if maybe it's how your lecturer teaches you is the cause of you not understanding, you can reach out to your friend, and let's say if the friend doesn't have time to teach you or come into physical contact to help you with your academics, I think in your friend's comfort zone, they could either set up a Zoom meeting,
that's true,
or they could make some research, give you assistance, record voice notes, like so many means of using the social media to help you boost your academics. So I think those are one of the ways, how I can help my colleague.
Okay. So let me use my school.
In
this,
University of Ghana.
Yes, the premier university.
In this context, I would probably look at two major platforms that I think is common amongst most Ghanaian students. That is WhatsApp, maybe Twitter. maybe Twitter.
Well,
the reason why I would come to the reason why I'm actually she feels indifferent about that, but that is understandable. I would give a reason why.
Okay.
So WhatsApp, because when our university rolled out a modular system, we were using WhatsApp to create groups.
Yes.
So many students lived in the north, and because of the modular system and the fact that the university had rolled out its teaching and learning platform on a large scale, it wasn't necessary for people to be present in person. So some students who probably stayed in the north, or they stay in the north, or maybe the Ashanti or Bono regions, decided to be in their homes whilst they involve themselves in this teaching and learning using WhatsApp. Now, while students are struggling, the university already has a tutorial system that we organize at our various departments. So one way of dealing with this, or reducing the level of failure at our tertiary level, is to make our tutorial sessions frequent. We can have them in person, we can have them online. I think it's one of the things that could really prevent failure among students, because if you had to look at my department, for instance, political science, we are one of the most populated departments. You could go for a lecture session and you'd have about 1,000 students in a lecture hall. Yes. So if you break down these students into groups for them to have tutorial sessions, mind you, the rooms for organizing tutorials are not enough to hold the larger section of our students, because we are looking at level 100s to 400s. And at most you would have maybe 600 or 700 students being beneficiaries. But then what happens to the remaining 300 people? So in order not to incapacitate them, what you need to do, or what I would encourage these people to do, is to make tutorial sessions accessible to people regardless of where they find themselves. If an individual can't partake in an in-person tutorial session, you can then resort to an online tutorial session like Zoom. Last year, when we were told to go home, I realized that most of our TAs were using Zoom to hold tutorial sessions, and most of our students really enjoyed it. I mean, those that, students, we have slow learners, we have those that are quick learners. So if, let's say, a student was present during a tutorial session, and during that 1 hour period, the student was not able to understand that, because, or by virtue of the fact that that session was recorded, the students could then record it, play it over and over again. Unlike the in-person where you just go there, if you are not able to understand it, it's your own cup. Exactly. So I think these are things that we could look at moving forward.
So I think I want to add up to what Nana K said. The tutorial session, for instance, it's very helpful. University of Ghana, that's one of the things I think I like about them. Yes, because it helps, and it's for those who are, it's for everybody. But I think those who benefited the most were slow learners and people who had to read continuously before they're able to grasp what they teach them. So I think it helps. And most of the time, if you would notice, during tutorial sessions, they teach certain things that were not said in the classroom. But mind you, the tutorial sessions, some of the things that were taught were things that appeared in exams.
Most of the time.
Yes, most of the time. So those who attended tutorial sessions were people who were doing well in class, because they knew that once I'm able to attend this tutorial session, then for sure I'm passing my exams. So,
all right, so thank you very much, Nana K and Abigail, for coming on the show and also sharing in with us your insights.
Thank you for having us.
So thank you very much for watching African Student Voices on AAU TV. AAU TV is the voice of higher education in Africa. And don't forget, you can send in your comments and suggestions on our social media handles, Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube, AAU TV _ African Universities on Twitter, and AAU TV Official on Instagram. And today we discussed the impact of social media on student academic performance in the classroom. Don't go anywhere. We'll catch you same time next time. Bye.